Hey everyone, D-Dub Squizzy here, and welcome back to Swordflight. Alright, I'm going to start this off by first apologizing that the last 5 episodes had no game sound. I didn't realize that until editing yesterday, and you might ask how, and it's because I usually don't even check the game sound. I make sure that you can hear other things over it, but generally the game sound is reasonably quiet in comparison. I generally don't spend a ton of time editing. Mostly because I'm not very good at it, clearly. But I always thought I was still hearing something. Evidently I was wrong, and yeah, I felt pretty bad about it. But I tinkered with my settings and fixed it. I think it was because of that time that I said all my presets got reset on me. Everything was just gone and I had to reset it all. I thought I had one of my settings correct, but it was trying to pick up the sound from my speakers, not my headphones. And my speakers don't make any noise when I record because I listen through my headphones, so yeah, it was frustrating. But it should be back now. I'm just sad that it was there for so long. Alright, we're going to Fort Akhaz. And naturally we didn't make it. Who's ambushed us? Yikes. Wreckage of a caravan. Never seen this before. While traveling through Kalimshan, I came across the wreckage of a caravan that had been attacked by unknown raiders. They had savagely killed the caravan members and seemed more interested in simple destruction than in robbery. It would be a good idea to track them down and deal with them. The corpse has been impaled on a stake after having been badly cut up and mutilated. Whether the man was alive or not while that was going on is not clear. Whoever did this appears to have been motivated by savage hatred. It would seem something more than simple raiding or robbery for gain is going on here. Stuff being carried by the wagons has been dumped out here. It's set on fire. No attempts appear to have been made to search for valuables or take anything for gain. Oxen pulling caravan wagons were let loose, peacefully grazing. Ox responds. What happened here? Ox was working hard pulling its wagons when a horde of humans, bears, wolves, and perhaps other animals it did not get a good look at descended on the caravan. The ox was very frightened, assuming the carnivorous animals would kill it, but the attacking humans somehow prevented this, killing only the humans, setting the oxen free. Renegade druids. Alright, others probably don't have any new information, but I'm going to double check them. Okay. So, tracks. So this must be a nature people specific quest then. Tracks can be seen leading from the wreckage of the caravan, heading off to the northeast, belonging to whatever raiders attacked here could be followed. Both humans and various types of animals mixed together. Alright. Well, I see. That's the road onward. Let's go down to the farm. What's that about? Do you know anything about the caravan destroyed here? Caravan was hit. It's alarming. It's the work of Sadarash. I don't doubt. One of those really violent, fanatical druids, what they call a shadow druid. A kind who hates civilized societies so much they're ready to burn it to the ground. Only know what I hear. He hides out in the wilderness with some like-minded lesser druids, comes out every now and then to attack travelers on the road or outlying settlements. Every attack I've heard of took place fairly far away, so it's a bit disturbing he's come to these parts. Well, I better make sure they're not harboring anyone. Doubt they would be. But you never know. I am not. Okay. Caravan was attacked. Work a Sadarash. Dad knows more. Alright. That's odd. It says that those ones were let loose by the caravan as well. They said that they weren't aware of a caravan being hit, so where did they get the oxen? Inhabitants of a farm near the road think the attack was the work of Sadarash, a shadow druid who believes in using violence. Right. His activities bear looking into. Here at the raiders' tracks, head off into the thick underbrush. You can barely make out a path, and furthermore, from this point on, the raiders seem to have been taking some measure to cover up their tracks. No one but an expert tracker could follow it. Good job, some ability as a tracker. I would not want such violent criminals to escape us. Having a hard time following their scent, they may have masked it somehow. Probably a big reward for catching criminals. Guess I was smarter than I realized. Alright, let's go. That's a lot of wolves. They're not hostile yet. Maybe I can calm them down. They do not want to let you pass. Well, animal empathy is 16 right now. Intimidate's only 8. Yeah, animal empathy. Wolf responds to communication, warning you it's been instructed to keep you away. The image of the giver of this instruction that the wolf communicates is a human, presumably a druid, if he's able to order a wolf pack. Discover the same man has been leading the wolves in attacks on caravans and settlements. Wolf warns you, letting you know he must attack you if you press on. I'm the alpha druid. No. But attacking humans is folly, yeah, lead to your death. Wolf has been uneasy about the pack's current activities, responsible to your suggestion, agrees to let you pass if you refrain from further attack, and to refrain from further attacks on humans. 300 XP. I wonder if it was worth more. Well, pack leader is only a challenging. Kill challenging enemies that really aren't worth that much XP. I think it kind of depends on which one you fight. The moderate one's probably somewhere around 20, so I guess it's likely the experience was almost exactly the same. Tracks of both humans and various types of animals mixed together. Wolf tracks can no longer be discerned. Those of bears and large cats can be. Ooh, boy. Wait, boars or bears? Bears and large cats. Well, they're boars. Shadow druids. Yeah, let's go, I guess. Yeah, they've got stone skins. Oh, a jaguar. Can you guys stop tripping over each other's feet? So that guy's probably a ranger. It looks like these dire boars have the same kind of AI bugs that the ones in regular Neverwinter Nights do, where they will not attack even though they're hostile, except for sometimes. Usually when you attack them, they'll fight back. And oftentimes they'll use their rage abilities on sight with you. But they don't just move in and attack with everything else like they probably should. Grizzly bear. Critical failure. Alright, guess we beat you the old-fashioned way. I think 3 of us just critted that thing at once. Good luck firing that thing now. Something weird about a tree. I see an exit through the water, but I think I also saw a cave down here, right? No, I didn't see a cave. Why did I think I saw a cave? Alright, that should be the last of the animals. Well, I guess not all of them are up to listen to reason. Examine the tree more closely. Tree has been altered by druidic magic, so its sap will have healing and protective properties. Harvest some of the sap in the form of potions. Cure serious wounds and bark skin. Weird. Do I even have, like, any spellcraft ability? No, I literally have 0. So you gotta be really stupid to actually fail that one. Tracks of both humans and various types of animals. Will tracks can no longer be discerned. Those of bears and large cats can. There he is. So you have fought your way to me, doubtless slain all those who stood before you. Suppose I'm next. The struggle for survival is the way of nature, and though we suffer losses today, in the end your winnowing will only make our cause the stronger. What you fight for is doomed. All civilization must fall, and once the ruin behind me was a great tower, reaching to the heavens, look at it now. Symbol of the ultimate triumph of the natural order. It is that order I serve. I do whatever is necessary in that service. Nature is all, and all is justified for her sake. Our goal should be to seek balance between the wild and civilization, not the latter's total destruction. Yeah, because if you don't have civilization or how to regulate things, nature destroys itself more than anything else. I think I have not heard such words before. I know your type all too well. A hypocrite who claims to revere nature, but is not willing to do what's actually necessary to protect her. Weakling who stands by and makes excuses for an action, while more and more the natural world is overrun. The merchants, the farmers who bring destruction of the world, they must die. Time for half measures is long past. Alright. Looks like all kinds of good stuff. None of which I even know what it is. Despite me literally putting points into lore. These points seem useless. I can't even identify Cure Serious Wound scroll. Altar to Sylvanas, the Oak Father, patron deity of many druids, has been set up here. Well tended, appears to have been often used. Evidence for Sadarash being sincere adherent to the teachings of Sylvanas as he understood them, despite that many would consider his beliefs a perversion of them. Wow, that's a lot of XP for that. If there were any deity that most druids are going to worship, it's got to be Sylvanas. He's the only one that really fits, so that figures. So flame berries and ice berries. Yeah, so that's 1d10 cold damage, cold resistance, regeneration, and haste. Just a holy symbol. I don't plan to use that though. Okay, can't identify the rest without more extreme measures, which I'm not going to take at this moment. Must be a pretty competent barbarian. Thank you for letting me know. Set my mind at ease. I wasn't sure if you could even come back and talk to him. Usually you can say something, but oftentimes it has no effect. They actually did give me XP for that, so that's kind of neat. Alright. Fort Akhaz. Right. Getting ambushed again. All of my protections are gone now. Blazing Axis warriors, so they've tried to get the roads cut off so that no one can get by them. Ooh, Ogre Berserker. That can't be good. Oof. Ow! My goodness! Yeah, kill that Berserker fast. That guy hits like a truck. Okay. So there are ogres with them, which makes them even worse. Add in a small pile of ogres to an orc raiding group, and it goes from a not great situation to a terribly bad situation. Okay. I think I've actually made it this time. After about a week of travel, oh good, it rested me. That's nice. Well, since we're probably in the middle of a war zone, I'm going to want to apply my stuff now. Doesn't look good. Okay, so they're a fire-obsessed tribe. Blazing axes makes sense. Travelers in the mountains, it was fortunate that that I had your aid against these orcs. Fear that for yourselves you've chosen the most unfortunate time to come this way. I would suggest you turn around and return. I was sent by Galauder. If your destination's the fort, you've not arrived in good time. It's surrounded by an army of orcs. The Blazing Axe tribe is out in force. They've always been a large and powerful tribe. We never realized they had this much strength. Many ogres are working with them as well, and they are more than we could ever hope to face in open battle, so the garrison is retired behind the walls of the fort. Sent off just before the siege commenced to report a situation, and it is hoped return with reinforcements. Entire tribe of orcs united and concentrated will be difficult to defeat. We should help the garrison. I don't know how to defeat so many enemies. Assume this is not what your posture was expecting. No blame can be attached if you simply fled the mountains, but if you do still want to strike a blow against the orcs, there might be a few ways you could do it. As you see from the fight we just had, the orcs have been sending small patrols out from their main force. If you operate on the flanks of the main besieging force, you could likely take out some of those patrols. It means staying off the main road, but there are a couple of ways you could do that. Off to the east, the wood road, there's a path through the woods. To the west, if you can get down to the river, you could follow it along until you find a path that heads up into the west. If you can make your way far enough to the north along such paths, you might even reach the caves in the mountains in which the orcs hide when not out on raids, most of them around the fort. You likely could profitably raid those caves. You'll be bound to disrupt the logistical arrangements and make it hard for them to carry on the siege. With you causing all the trouble in their rear, the orcs will doubtless be sending out detachments to hunt you down, which would be most dangerous. That would not be altogether bad, as it would weaken their main force around the fort, perhaps eventually to the point where it could be attacked. Comrades in the fort will appreciate whatever aid you can give them. I have my own tasks, must be on my way. Good fortune. Bonus XP for keeping a soldier alive. Nice. Okay, so the way that this place works, basically you've got the fort, and then you have a big, like, square around it. The orcs are swarming these entire areas. The two paths, you can't actually even approach the fort until you have weakened the orcs enough. There's too many of them. And it's pretty much exactly like that guy said. There are certain things you can do to significantly weaken their power, but in truth, if you just sit around killing every orc that you get your hands on for a while, the game will count that as doing enough damage over time. And when you kill enough orcs, you can then go move and break their siege. Okay, so I'm not really planning to take this path. Like I said, it's a square, so we'll come up around the other end anyway. Just want to make sure, as I don't think there's anything else on it. Yeah, there's not. Okay. The orcs can be tough. I'm not really worried about them, though. The ogre's backing them up, as we saw from just that one encounter. Not all ogres are that bad, but there's some of them that are just terrible. Falcons flying about, not concerned. Have all the orcs not caused any problems for you? Indicates the opposite. Normally the orcs will sometimes try to shoot down birds, but now they're too busy with whatever they're doing to pay any attention to what's flying above them. Could you do some scouting for me? Falcon is amenable to doing so. Flyer in the area, bring you information about what it sees. Falcon returns after a period of time and informs you what it saw. To the north is the fort, surrounded by a large body of orcs and ogres. Further north, large groups of orcs can also be seen coming down from caves in the mountains, some of them escorting wagons loaded with food and other supplies. To the east of the fort, some orcs have set up camp and are busy building what you recognize as siege engines, like catapults and battering rams. To the west of the fort, across the river from it, there are a few orcs about, though a few patrols have begun moving through this region. That's not certain to remain true for long. Okay. So that's to the fort. See Fort Akhaz in the distance with a huge force of orcs around it. Be suicidal to continue in the direction without doing more to thin out the orcs. Well, usually it kind of bugs me when a game makes a choice like that for me. It makes sense here, because you will absolutely get destroyed. It does not appear there are many travelers to the region, mainly messengers and supply columns heading to or from the fort. Most of the recent tracks, those of orcs, an ominous sign. Likely the ones that we just killed. Fenberry bush, woodcraft. I think woodcraft is just like, it's pretty much the same statistic they use for tracking. It's just levels of nature-based classes. So I should be all good on anything woodcraft related. Only place I remember seeing it is on Fenberry stuff, but of course there's likely more that I just have never seen because I've not played a druid before. Out of my way, bear. Feed your companion. I forgot you could do that. You could just auto-heal them. You could do that with your familiar, too. Orcs and ogres have been moving through this region. You'll need to be on high alert. Yeah, I can see them already. Alright, let's charge. 3 warriors and a marksman. Oh man, Fear is gonna die. That's a good cast. That's a fun spell. I like that spell. Ogre Berserker. Great. Poor Keelan. Barrage could probably pretty effectively deal with all of these orcs on his own. Well, maybe not on his own. And not entirely head-on. If I were playing as Barrage and I was alone out here, I could probably take them out. It'd be tricky, and they'd be dangerous at times. But probably. But he's the only one in my party that I would say that about. Oh, bye-bye, Fira. Yeah, I think the reason that thing goes down so quickly is definitely because I have a disparate amount of levels in Druid. If I was 100% just leveling up as a Druid, I think my animal companion would be way more effective. Oh, I failed. That's sad. Okay, so there's a cave to check. Ogre Guard. Ogre appears exceptionally large and strong by the standard, even by the standards of his kind. If we all died with orcs, I'm not dead. What are you talking about? Got to explain to him what allied mean. Orcs and fort. I know orcs attack it. Usually we avoid fort or small peoples and attack us. I just do what the smarter ogres say. They tell me to do what the big spider thing says. So now that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so there's an Arania in here. Goes to do something deeper in the caves. Keelam's got pretty good regeneration. He was hurt pretty bad by that Ogre Berserker. He's already almost back up to full. I think he regenerates 2 or 3 hit points around. 2. Yeah. Zombies. Oh man, that hurt. I don't have, like, any attack spells on these things, do I? No, not really. Man, they hit so hard. Oh, these are skeleton warriors, not just those skeletal sentinels. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, Barrage seems to have a good enough armor class to hold him at bay. Jobs and jog. Drive one away. Nice heal. Okay, I intend to raise Keelam, but I'm going to go through this place first. If there are more skeleton warriors, they'll probably just put him down again. He charges pretty foolhardily into every single encounter, and it'll get him killed pretty easily. And he gets no sneak attack or any other bonuses really against undead. So this is an Iranian necromancer, clearly, trying to generate some extra oomph for the attackers by adding undead soldiers to their ranks. Okay, skeletal sentinels, not as bad as the warriors. Tyrant fog zombies, and then the necromancer. Ow. What just happened? I must have misclicked somewhere. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna go resurrect him now. Or raise him. Not really resurrecting him. That's at least an Arania plan destroyed, though. Okay. Same tracking information as the other stuff? Yep. Orc snuggers have been moving through the region. Be on alert. Looks like they've got a camp set up over there. Well, this would be probably getting pretty close to the location where they make, where the Falcons saw them making their siege equipment. Yep, you can see it from here. There's a lot of blazing axes guys, that and ogre berserker. Now just 2 ogres. Alright, well the regular warriors we could probably take, no problem. Hey, thanks, buddy. Uh-oh. I feel like that guy's probably a little worse. Okay, he was definitely a lot stronger. But because of a couple well-placed crits, that looks like some nice equipment. He went down pretty fast. Let's just take all of that. Ogre. Kill the other one, too. Ow. Yeah, keep me alive. Okay, so that's directly over to the fort. Gotta make sure there's no more of them prowling around here. Okay, so when it comes to an actual siege, siege engines are a huge deal. They pretty much make or break the entire fight. Usually. Which means if these are organized orcs, they're going to be ultra pissed the moment I start breaking these things. Which I'm absolutely going to do. And will likely send some people out to investigate. And if I were to guess, they'd be some of their better forces. Well, I guess probably not the best ones they've got, given that they're going to need those people for the actual big fight with a gigantic fort. But they're not going to send out weaklings to check on it, because if something has disabled it, they need to know. Sample some stew. Orcish culinary endeavors not held in high regard by most for new races. Stew sounds rather good to you, perhaps because of your inherited orcish nose. Stew is to your liking. It's not so bad, and all cooking is better. Two of the warriors can be looted too. Normally they haven't dropped anything yet. Fire axes. $16 XP. There they are. Okay, let's all retreat for the moment. So I see an Ogre Berserker. That's a Shaman. Who else have we got here? Blazing Axes Berserkers. Okay, well I'm gonna try to hit them with something that's really gonna hurt. Yeah, they didn't like that. Do it again. Couple of marksmen, one of the warriors is dead, the berserkers are alive. I need to go take out that scout. Please tell me that was a flame strike. Yep. See, that's why I say that Barash can probably handle most of this on his own. Nice little detachment of them dead. Probably going to need to take some resting measures after this. We got hit hard. I'll just take their tools so they can't build more. I don't know that I'll really use those much. Alright. I don't think it'd make much logical sense to try to sleep in the middle of a war zone. So I'm probably going to have to use a Rune of Reinvigoration. Either that, or spend a lot of healing stuff. Which I could do. But I have the runes. I might as well use them. Especially when we're this badly hurt. And I know my spells don't last as long as I would like them to. Again, because of the uneven amount of levels that I have in Druid. If I put all my levels into Druid right now, I could cast my protections at the beginning of an episode and probably record 3 times in a row without it wearing off. Because it'd be like a 10-hour duration at this point on most of those things. Nothing you don't already know. Okay. So first, I'm going to go ahead... Okay, so I couldn't identify any of those. Still can't identify that, or that, or that. Or that? Oh, what? I can't even identify a magic wand. Okay, that's a potion of death ward. Those are handy. Blazing battle axe, -1 damage, +1 attack, and fire. Alright. It's not actually a magical weapon, it just has extra attack and a little bit of fire damage on it. Well, I kind of intended to do a little more in this episode, but I think I'm going to call it here. I didn't expect to get pulled into that little side story about the Shadow Druid and deal with him. That did take a little bit of time. So I think I've accomplished enough in this episode so far. So, next one, I'm hoping I can finish out this whole siege, but it might take 2 episodes. I'm not entirely sure. In case you haven't already guessed or didn't already know, you kind of have to go into the orc caves, but you don't... I guess technically you might not have to. There are some respawning orcs around here that you can keep killing and probably weaken the siege enough. But in all likelihood, and as you reasonably would and should, you're probably going to have to go into the caves that the orcs and ogres are using and kill some of them inside. And of course, you know me, I'm going to do everything that I can, not just the bare minimum. So, it can take a bit of time. They're pretty extensive. They're not that extensive, actually, but there's more to them than you might think. Like I said, these aren't little side things. These are full-blown, big-time quests, and so there's a lot that goes into them, and some of it's pretty difficult. But we'll see exactly how I plan to tackle it in the next episode. For now, that is all. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.